Okay then, so for this project and the rest of the projects in this course, I'm going to be using the Bootstrap library to help us with the designs of our projects. Now I'm doing this because it helps us to keep the focus on JavaScript and learning that rather than on CSS and getting bogged down creating a load of CSS rules for our projects. So Bootstrap is a CSS and JavaScript library that makes creating good looking websites really easy. So we'll just be using the CSS part of it to make our designs look nice, and I won't be touching the JavaScript part of it at all because I don't want to take any shortcuts when it comes to learning the language, and I think it will benefit you greatly to learn it without any third-party JavaScript libraries first of all. So for the projects we create, we're going to be using Bootstrap CSS library so we can quickly prototype our designs with CSS classes and rules and not get too bogged down with the design itself. Then if we need, we can just add one or two of our own CSS rules. So we can get Bootstrap from this website, getbootstrap.com, and then just go to Get Started. And what we should do is get the CSS CDN link, which is right here. So I'm going to copy that and paste it inside our index file in the head, and I'm going to put it just above the title tag. Alright, so now we have that inside our HTML file. It means that we can use the built-in CSS classes provided by Bootstrap. Okay, so let me just give you a quick rundown of a couple of the different things we can use with Bootstrap and why it makes it so easy for us. So you see all these different things on the left, they're all the different things that come with Bootstrap. So if I click on Utilities over here and then click on Colors, for example, you can see that we have access to these different theme colors. And these right here, these are the classes to get these colors for text. So if we want something to have this color text right here, this blue, we just give it a class of text primary. So there's loads of different examples of that. And also down here, we can have background colors by using BG and then the name of the color. So we have primary, secondary, success, danger, warning, info, light and dark. We have white and transparent as well at the bottom. So I'm going to be using these different colors for our different projects. That's not to say we won't be using our own colors as well. Like I said, we can add our own CSS in the future to overwrite certain styles, but we can use these as well. So that's colors. We can also search for different things over here. So if I type in, for example, spacing, then I'm going to click on this right here, spacing, and you can see we get a lot of different classes for spacing as well. So for example, if we want to apply margin to something, we could use the class M to set the margin, and then we say where we'd like to apply it. For example, would we like to apply it to the top or the bottom or the left or the right? This would be the top, MT, and then how much margin would we want? If we don't want any margin, we say -0. If we want this amount of margin, which is the space of variable times 0.25, so just a small margin, then we'd say M, and then whatever direction, this is left, -1. 2 gives us a slightly bigger margin, 3 bigger more so. X means left and right, by the way, the X direction, and Y would mean up and down. Now notice this is P right here, so this is padding. So we have the same convention for margin and padding. So again, you don't really need to understand all of this because I'm not going to be focused too much on Bootstrap. This is just to make our designs look a bit nicer, and then we can really focus on the JavaScript. Now, a couple of the other layout options that we have are things like cards. So I'm just going to type in a card right here. And if we come down here, we can see we have these little things called cards, which are just little containers to add little bits of content to. So we might be using something like this in the future. And it shows us how to create these in HTML using the different CSS classes provided by Bootstrap. So if we do something like this and then view it in a browser, it's going to give us a card. Now let me just copy this code and paste it over here so we can see this in action. If I do that and neaten this a little bit, I'm going to save it, right click, I'm going to go to open with live server, and that's going to open up over here. Now we don't get the image at the top because that's a Bootstrap image. So in fact, let me just delete that image right here, save it and preview it in a browser. And now we can see we have this card without the image. So that's a nice way to section off some content. So using Bootstrap like this is really simple. We find the component that we want and we can copy the code, paste it in our editor and just change it a little bit if we need to. Another couple of things we're going to be using are display headings. So let me say display and then headings, so we can see display headings right here. So these are all different size titles, if you like, and we use these different classes to create those. And another thing we'll be using are nav bars. So if you go to nav bar right here, we can see if we scroll down, these kind of things, just a little nav bar that we can place at the top of our different projects with links in. So they're just a few of the different things that we're going to be using, not just in this project, but maybe in other projects as well as we go forward. Again, don't worry too much about Bootstrap. I'm not going to be spending too much time on it, and I'm only going to be using it to make our sites look a bit better. It's got nothing to do with the JavaScript, and it won't have any effect on you learning the JavaScript if you don't know Bootstrap. I just wanted to give you this quick introduction and tell you why I'm using it.